way, he embezzled $3 billion with a B dollars.
Yeah.
Not 3 million. I remember when I met him, I said, hey, Lance, listen, he's like, oh, so how much was your crime? I said, man, 39 million, big case. He's like, yeah, that's a big case. I said,
Hey, this is Matt Cox, and I'm here with Juan, and we are going to do a 1-year anniversary for Juan being released from prison.
From detention, actually.
Oh, from detention.
Yeah.
Did you get halfway house? You didn't get halfway.
No, I did my halfway house under ICE custody.
Oh, okay. So,
Beautiful.
But you were released.
I was released I went home December 23rd.
So
by the time this is released,
yeah, it'll probably be
released.
a few days, but whatever. Close enough. Close enough. All right, so we're going to do that, and we're going to basically talk about, we're going to have a discussion just about prison and prison politics and some myths. So, yeah.
I think we're going to talk about orange not being the new black, and it's funny because we had this conversation off camera.
Yeah.
For like half an hour.
Yeah, and I said, we ought to just talk about this on camera.
And then we go on camera, and I'm like,
what
do we talk about? You know what I mean?
It started off where we were joking about how you were telling your kids how you're like, I'm basically running this place.
Right.
Like, this is ridiculous. I'm running
my
this
kids, you don't have kids that visited you, of course, but your mom did.
I don't have kids that talk to me.
Yeah,
Because that's what a decent guy I am. So,
Father of the Year. No, I'm just kidding. But my kids will go and visit me, and they'll say like, Dad, because they were concerned that, Dad being a little soft for prison. And I will tell them, listen.
Are you okay? Are they punking you out?
Are they raping you, Dad? Are they raping you?
Your 15-year-old daughter.
And I will be like,
are you someone?
Only on Thursdays, honey.
Are you someone's bitch?
Dad, please don't let your nails grow and your, So
you shave because your head shaved. The mop wig fits better.
Oh my God! We're gonna talk about the mop buckets in the shower, but I will tell them like, listen, I have so much control over this prison, and it's because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I never knew that nerd power was gonna be my savior, and they used to tell me that you've been down for too long. Nerds run the world. Everybody works for a nerd. And then you have Facebook and you have all this stuff that was developed when I was in prison, when you were in prison.
When I was in prison, listen, Facebook came out like just before I went to prison. Like, what was big when I went to prison was MySpace.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. You, oh my God.
There was no iPhone.
What year
There was no iPhone.
What year did you go to prison?
2006 is when I was caught.
So you started, you didn't get, obviously you didn't get bail.
No bond. No, when you get caught with a couple dozen passports,
yeah,
they don't give you. They're afraid you're.
I didn't get bail.
They're afraid you're flightless.
Yeah, and so from 2006 all the way to 2019, you were incarcerated. So you didn't leave any of the technology world.
Till 2019. You're right.
Okay, wow, yeah, you skipped a lot. I got to the iPhone 4 or iPhone 5, but I didn't know Twitter had just come out. And Facebook used to be like a social platform.
Right.
Like people actually interacted with people, and you look up at your girlfriends, and everybody was getting divorced. But
what is it now?
Well, people now take pictures, which are still not used to that shit. People take pictures of their food.
Oh, no.
Like, this is what I'm eating. Look, and this is a steak, and this is a pork chop. And that to me is still a little uncomfortable.
But in prison, the thing about being in prison, listen, at the mediums and the lows and stuff, I love these guys that are like, I get these in the comments where on that Wes Watson video and all that, where the guys are like, you wouldn't last a second in federal prison. It's like, I was in federal prison. You wouldn't last a second here. You wouldn't stop. You wouldn't last a second in the pen. I know guys that were in the pen. Zach was in the pen. Like, what are you talking about?
Dude, I did 10 months in the pen.
Right. So what are you talking about? I'm here.
And it doesn't get any softer than me.
Yeah. I mean,
You could do. But
so.
But I remember, dude, all these tough guys will come to me, at least. I'm sure it happened to you.
Of course.
Hey, Venezuela. I heard you know how to type.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I need you to write an email to my girl, because we had the True Links thing.
Yeah.
And they charge you by the minute.
Yeah. So the faster you can type.
The faster you type, the more you can type, and you have a time what was it, like 15
Well, not
minutes?
just that, but the guy,
The eloquence.
Yeah, exactly. The guy can't type an.
Yeah, I mean,
he can't type an email.
I dated so many women that were in I will just write these beautiful letters because the guy will be like, listen, just tell her, when I get out, I'm going to fuck the shit out of you. And I say, okay, well, listen, I can't wait until I get out. We're soulmates. I love you, not with my heart, but with my soul, which is my whole being. And they'll be like, oh, that's good, bro. Keep it going. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm inspired. You have a picture of her? I'm in the zone right now. And dude, it was. That's when I realized, wait a second, there is something to being smart here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There is Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
And then the thing is, like, that they don't pay you with money. What they do is they'll go get your commissary, like, bro, give me a couple bags of chips, or get me. Do you have a coffee? Yeah, okay, give me a coffee, and I'll.
When
type
I
it.
was at the detention center, you got 15 minutes every hour, so you had to wait an hour to get 15 minutes again.
Right.
So I will use my 15.
He means 15 minutes on the TrueLink
on the
system.
TrueLinks on the computer.
TrueLinks is the computer, because people don't realize this.
That's right.
That there's a computer system that you can write a letter. It then sends it to an off-site location. Your family can then go to that location and retrieve it. You cannot email directly to your family.
And it takes about 2 hours to get there.
Right. There's a turnaround because it has to go through a
investigation and reviewing.
Yeah, they have to review it and everything. So what happens is, and your time. So you have to put money on the system so that you can use the computer to type it. So you have to do it as quickly as possible.
5 cents a minute.
Yeah. So what happens is, after you've used the computer for, 15 minutes?
15 minutes.
Then you have to wait an hour before you can use it again. Because there's so many inmates waiting for the computers, they have to limit the time.
So what I would do is I will use my 15 minutes, then I will type for the next guy. Oh,
you can work nonstop.
Boom, my 15 minutes again. I will keep typing, then the next guy. So I will sit there for 3 hours and use the computer every hour without having to stand in line. And like I said, they'll be like, oh, don't get up. I'll get your stuff. Don't get up. I'll go, they're calling you. I'll go get your mail. I'll go get whatever, because they want you to keep writing.
Right.
And then, of course, there is the law paperwork.
Right.
Everybody wants to know, you know.
Oh, I've had guys that would come to me and ask me to read their legal work. Like, hey, I don't understand what this says. And you have to read it to them, explain, and they go, what does that mean? Okay, here's what it means.
You don't know, well, you know, but you guys don't know how many people I read their paperwork and they didn't know their charges.
Oh, yeah. I know guys that don't even know how they got caught.
Like, they were like, what? I will ask them, listen, what are your charges? Conspiracy. Dude, conspiracy to do what?
Right.
I don't know. How long you been down? For 3 years. Man, let me read your paperwork. That's when I had to explain to them what their crime was and who snitched on them and who didn't, and so on and so forth. So it's if you're not smart,
no, you've got
navigating the system is not easy, man.
Yeah. Or if you're not educated, or if you're not, if you don't have just basic skills, bro. So, and keep in mind, I worked as a GED tutor, and I actually taught what's called the skills program. So some of those guys,
program.
Bro, these are the guys that had done like, let's say they had done like 300 or is it 300, 600 hours in the GED classes, and they couldn't pass the test. So then they put them in what's called the skills program.
Let me explain this to them. 600 hours of GED is an hour a day, 5 days a week.
Right.
All right. So that's 5 hours. It's about 8 to 10 years trying to get your GED. It's the equivalent of somebody on the outside getting a Juris Doctorate.
So they would get out and they still can't, they just either they can't read. And these are guys that you realize as you start talking to them, you realize, oh wow, like you don't have an average IQ. You're like at like a 7, like you're like at an 80.
Correct.
Like you can function, you can dress yourself, you could maybe hold down a very menial job.
These are the people that the system stores in there. This is where the system, this is where you see the system not working.
Right. So those guys, they're and I hate to say this, it sounds cruel, but it's just, let's face it, you have smart people, average people, you have people that just aren't intelligent. And these are just not intelligent guys. Like they just can't learn to read. But below 80 IQ, you just really can't read. So, and anyway, the point is that, those guys come in there, and what we would do is we would teach them like just basic math, how to pay their bills.
I remember that. Oh my God, I remember that. It was the last classroom to the right.
How to count money.
Miss Rose and Miss Johnson, I think, run that program too.
Oh, you're thinking in the low. I was in the medium.
Oh.
So I'm dealing with those guys that are thugs.
Oh, okay.
And they would say stuff like, we were trying to get them just to learn how to count change. and money. And I'd say, bro, you're saying that, look, what's a quarter and a dime? How much is that? 50 cents. No, think about it. How much is 25 plus 10? Man, I don't need to know all that shit. And okay, you do need to know it. Like, man, I'm going to go. What, you got to get out and you got to be able to pay your bills. You have to be able to get a job. Man, I'm going back to sell drugs. I'd say, okay, but you have to be able to know how much money somebody's giving you. Who's going to count your money for you?
Even if you're selling drugs.
Right. I said, who's going to count your money? You know what the guy said? He said, shit, my hoe count that money. And I said, yeah, but what if she counts it wrong? He goes, I put that pipe on her. She count that shit right. Know what I'm saying?
And you were like, why don't you teach me that skill?
Put that pipe on her.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know. So I remember Zach was there, and I looked at Zach, and Zach goes, I went like this, and Zach goes, well, I mean, he's right. You know,
you gotta put the pipe on that bitch.
Just like, oh my God.
When that happens, you put the pipe on that bitch.
This is the worst. Dare I tell you, this was funny. I'm gonna tell you this story. This is just, and then we can talk about the jobs. Real quick, I had a guy one time. So I'm in the class, right, doing papers or what. I really goofed off, really, most of the time. They have to do, like, they've got their little things they have to do, and you grade them. But that takes no time. But I had this one black guy that used to come in every once in a while. He would walk in, and he'd take a Snickers bar. He'd walk in, and he'd drop a Snickers bar on my desk as a joke. You know, everybody would laugh. Yeah. And I go, man, get that shit off my head. And he'd go, ha ha, and he'd grab it, he'd laugh and walk off. So one day he walks in, and I could see he was going to do it. He did it like once or twice a week. And he comes in, and he put the Snickers bar, and I grabbed it, I opened it, and I took a bite of the fucking Snickers. And he, hey, what the hell, Cox? And I go, it's on my desk. It's in the open, right? We were talking about this earlier.
If it's on the table.
It's on the table.
It's everybody.
It's everybody. It's communal property. And I said,
correct.
It's mine. You put it on the table. It's mine. He's like, motherfucker. He got furious. And I sat there and ate the whole thing. You know, he was like, never put a Snickers on my
Listen,
table.
those classes are fun. And those guys are phenomenal guys. I mean, my students, they love the fact that we put an effort into try to teach them something.
Yeah, wow.
Not all of them. Some of them hated it. But I think the ones that wanted to learn something got some stuff out of prison. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know, they actually had this one guy. This is actually, I was going to say it's funny. It's not funny. I remember his name was George, and he had like a bunch of sons. He had like 10 or 11 kids, and they were all named George. Kind of like George Foreman.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So, but one of the things about him was he had gone to take the GED, and he passed everything except for the essay portion. Okay. So he had taken it twice and failed. So they're upset at this point. Now they're like, what's going on? He's passing the essay portion of the class,
but not
passing the GED. So they put him in a room with me for like a week, going over just how to write an essay. 2 weeks later, he took after the end of the week, he took the test and he passed you have to take a test before they let you take it again.
Yeah.
Took that one, blew it away, got a 5 out of 5, went and took the main test and got a 5 out of 5. And so then, and I was thinking, oh, cool. Yeah, that's good. What a mistake, bro. Next thing I know, the next quarter, I got like 6 guys sitting in the room with me teaching them. It's like, okay, when did I take on the teacher's responsibility of teaching them how to write an essay?
Correct.
Well, the funny thing about that guy, once again, not funny, super nice guy. Really liked him. Good guy. You see him all the time. You know, just a solid, nice black guy. Talk to him all the time. He was down to earth. He was funny, and got his GED and had like a plan. Like, here's what I'm going to do.
Correct.
I'm going to get my GED. I'm going to get out. I'm going to
do this. He used the prison system.
Absolutely. He was using it. Knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
He was going to do this, do that. He had a cousin that did. You know. He had reasonable goals. He wasn't going to get out and be a rapper. He was going to get out, and he had a cousin, and they had a business. His business was always doing well. He needed help. He was going to...
Good.
Right. Died of a heart attack about
oh my God.
a month and a half, 2 months after he got his GED, that was sitting in his, the plastic chairs.
Yeah.
Sitting in his plastic chair, watching TV during, I don't know, some program, whatever. And everybody said he just sat there, and all of a sudden he goes, boom. Dropped right out of the TV, dead.
Dude, you know how many people I saw dying?
Oh, tons.
A month before they got released, or 2 months before they got released, and I was like, oh my God. After you do all this fucking time, the door is right there.
Well, and the thing is, you have to think, if you're stuck with 2,000 people in a small group, that, you're going to watch a lot of people die.
Oh my God, yeah. Especially when they're rotating, because that one guy dies, boom, they bring
Somebody
another
else,
one,
yeah.
and they bring another one, and it's a revolving door of convictions. It's a business.
Well,
you know?
and because you see that because so many the prison population is constantly revolving, you become desensitized. Like to me, I'd be hanging out with you for 2 years, and we were cool, we were good buddies, and ever since one day you're on the pack out, you leave, I never see you again.
I'm smiling because we're talking about this, but were you at Coleman when they did the slip and slide?
Oh yeah,
In the backyard?
oh my God, bro, I can't. I cannot believe you just brought that up.
We had a. By the way, I had just arrived in Coleman, and they had a guy that run the rec department. I was a lady that run the
I was
rec
going to say it was a
department.
woman when I did it. It was a
Correct.
woman.
And she used to videotape.
You're gonna love this, Connor.
She used to videotape the activities, remember? And then she will go like, the rec yard activities are being played on channel 8. And then people will go and watch the video of like the gangsters. Kid you not, Matt will probably tell you his version of the story.
Oh, no,
because
you're right on point.
Literally, by the way, it wasn't like a professionally made sip and side. It was garbage bags,
Yes.
water and soap. And you found all these gangsters running. And
Yeah, it's a relay. It was like a relay, like a race. They would race
Correct.
around the track, and then when they got to the end of the relay, or why am I saying relay?
No, it was
Is that-
like a.
That's when you hand off.
Yeah, no, this was like a regular, like a marathon or
Okay.
something, like an obstacle race.
Obstacle course, right?
That's what it was.
Oh, that's right. Because you know what they had to do? They put the bat on their head.
Correct.
And they
had to spin around in circles.
Then
and
they had to run the track.
Correct.
And at the end of it, you ran and you jumped on a slip and slide. And as you were sliding down, they had a line where you had to grab a flag, and whoever got the flag ended up winning the obstacle course, whatever.
But if you weren't present, you could watch the reruns on
and
TV.
you could watch, they ran the 15 or 20 minute tape
Yeah,
over and
over
it
and
looped
over and over,
for like
yeah.
a day or two. These were the gangs. These are Crips, Bloods. These are
Killers,
hardened
hardcore killers.
running and doing this slip and slide. You know why they stopped it?
Why?
A guy, well, one, the woman left, but two,
Yeah,
remember,
when she left, things went to shit.
well, remember a guy broke his ribs, or one of his ribs. He jumped in the air and landed on. It's still just a plastic bag on the ground. Bam, cracked a rib.
By the way, and I know a lot of guys are gonna comment on this thing and gonna
That's
say like,
not
"Oh, because you went to
true.
a shit prison for punks." Dude, I went to 9 different prisons.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. They moved me around. I went from a pen all the way to a low.
You know what they never, these guys that say all that crap that have been in, you know what they never consider? They
What?
never consider that all the guys that are saying, man, prison's hard, prison's tough. I could come out of prison. I could tell you that. I could tell you all that.
course.
I'm not saying people don't get stabbed, people don't get beat up.
All the time.
But what I'm saying is it's not all that.
Well, listen, once you're in there, you figure you gotta make the best out of it. So people don't go there to have a miserable 10 or 15
Right.
years. You
Right.
go there to kind of say, okay, I'm gonna do my time. I'm stuck with these guys. Let's try to, you
gotta
play
make the best of it.
sports and you go to classes together and you do all kinds of stuff. But they also did an American Idol. Do you remember when they did American Idol?
Oh, you're talking about, it was a contest where they sung,
And they had like the
vote.
3 judges, and there was a guy that sang like a virgin. And were you there?
This is the punk. He was a gay guy, right? Was a gay
he
guy?
had do you remember the laundry bags?
Yeah, but he was a gay guy.
Well, obviously he sang like
Well,
a virgin.
I'm just saying.
But he
He
had
wasn't
like,
a virgin either.
not in prison.
From what I understand.
He took the laundry bags and he made like stockings out of the laundry bags and dude. And you know what the
Connor's like,
sad
"What's
part
happening?"
is?
Connor's going, what's happening? By the way, everybody, Connor is
Is the new Colby.
No, not the new Colby.
Not the new
No,
Colby?
No, he's Colby's assistant.
Oh.
He's not the new.
By the way, Colby has now an assistant.
Yeah, Colby's big time.
You guys remember when Colby was here doing the editing and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Now he's a boss.
Yeah. He's a
Next
boss.
step, he gets indicted. That's what happens. You build up, boom. He learned enough here where he can.
So,
Dude, what was I talking about? The stockings and.
you were
Oh,
like
you
a
think
virgin.
like all these gangsters are gonna be like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna stab this punk." Oh no, they're all like, "Woo, come on, show us your ass." Loving it, bro.
Yeah, they had karaoke night. That was because they had
They had
karaoke.
the karaoke
they had like
nights,
karaoke
too.
Thursdays or something.
Yeah, that was a little bit annoying because then it's always the same guys.
And you could from, it depends on what unit, or if you were outside, you could hear them. It's annoying.
Yeah, and it's the same guys singing the same fucking songs. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
listen,
Gotta mix it
the
up.
Mexicans are gonna sing the same stuff, and the black guys are gonna sing the same stuff, and it just got, it got a little annoying.
Yeah, they had the movie room.
They had the movie room.
Yeah. So you could reserve a spot to sit in the movie room and
Yes.
watch a movie, and they had a list of movies.
I believe you watch a movie there called My Name is Khan. Did you watch it or no?
I did because everybody told me I had to watch it.
And then I told you, I said, dude, I watched this movie. What the fuck? I walked into the movie room and the guy's like, you want to watch a movie? Watch this one. And I'm sitting there and I'm like trying not to cry my eyes out because there's like 20 other convicts in there. And I'm like, because all the bad things happened to this guy.
Yeah. He kept a great spirit. He was a great guy, right?
Yeah, he was like an autistic guy. And I'm not gonna, you guys got to watch it. And so then I tell Matt, dude, I just watched the most fucked up movie. Have you ever watched this movie? And he's like, dude, some asshole recommended it to me, and I'm sitting there holding my tears back. I'm like, yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
But that was a movie room.
Yeah, movie room.
So, I mean, listen, you make the best. But we were talking about jobs.
Yeah, jobs.
And
why it was funny because like you have the guys that.
Oh my God.
So you have different jobs, right? You have hustles. They call them hustles. They don't call them jobs. Hustles.
There's a prison hustle.
Yeah. So your prison hustle is some guys, and I had many different prison hustles. One, what started off as when I was in county jail, I drew portraits of people.
That's a big hustle.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You can charge a lot of money. So a lot of money for prison. So,
yeah.
but I could charge $20-$30 for a
lot of stamps.
Yeah. And sometimes it would be $10. Sometimes they charge $10 and it might take me 2 hours to do it, but $5 an hour in sitting in a county jail where you can't leave the unit is a lot of money.
Where if you're an orderly, you make like $10 a month.
Right. So I would draw a picture a day or 2 pictures a day, and I'm doing well. Keep in mind, I never had anybody send me money until I got, so for 4 years, I never asked for anyone to send me money. It wasn't until I got to the low and started writing full time that I realized I'm going to need money on TrueLinks. And
that was because you were running a business. You need a capital.
Right. Up until I started writing, like my mom was constantly, I think my mom did send me $50 or $100 one time. I think she sent me $50 or $100.
Shit, bro.
Yeah. And that was only because she was like, look, you need things in there. Mm-hmm. You know? And I got lucky when I first got to the Medium. I had a cousin that was actually in prison. His name was Reese Townsend. And as soon as I got there, he got me a bunch of stuff. And I was like, look, I don't really have any money, but I can get my mom to send, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
But I can get my mom to send in money. He's like, no, you don't have to pay me anything. Don't worry about it. Reese's mother had died when he was incarcerated, and he got a chunk of money. And my brother-in-law managed the money and would just send him money. So he's like, don't even worry about it. Reese had the place locked up.
But I'll tell you one. Sorry to interrupt you here, but it's something that I got to tell these guys. They're always talking about, the prison code. You broke the code, bro. You broke the code.
Yeah.
There is a prison code.
Right.
The camaraderie in prison is unfucking believable, bro. I got moved a lot.
Yeah.
So every time I went to a new prison, guys were like, listen, what do you need? You need shoes, you need sweatpants, you need this, you need that. I have 2 mackerels, 3 coffees, this, that. And you're like, bro, listen, I don't have to wait to pay you back yet. No. This is for you to get settled.
Yeah.
Every prison that I went to, that is the prison code. You help the new guy that comes in. That's a must,
Yeah.
For the not everybody.
No, but you know what's so funny is that so I understand when you're going from prison to prison. Once you've been in the prison, and you can tell when someone first came in and when someone's been around. The guy that comes in from another prison and he's been around, you walk in and then they've got a bag for you. That's what they call it. We got a bag for you. So, and they, of course, because when you first get there, you don't have shower slides, you don't have soups, you don't have razors, you don't have nothing. So they'll give you all that stuff. I mean, the institution will give you a toothbrush. It's this big. You can't even reach your molars with it.
You have the condom. Have you ever gotten the condom, the finger condom, the one that looks like it's like for ferrets?
Oh, it's
horrible.
So pathetic.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is they'll give you. I love the shampoo soap combo kit. It's this big, and then they give you
the little packet.
So bad. Sometimes when I think about how fucked up it is, I get anxiety. So, but usually you go there and your group or your car or your race, they come to you. You know who's the best at it was the Mexicans. The Mexicans. You're not Mexican.
I'm Hispanic, bro.
You're not Mexican.
When I went to the pen, who greeted me?
The Mexicans?
The Mexicans.
The Mexicans will give you a ton of stuff.
You have to give. I mean...
Yeah. Oh, you have to contribute.
They run a bag every week, and they build these bags. So when you come in, they're like, listen, here's your bag. Yeah. Boom, welcome.
Yeah, here's your shower slides. Here's your toothpaste. Everything. Here's your toothbrush. Here's your lock for your locker.
Your shank.
Here's your...
Everything.
Boom, boom, boom. So, so that's one thing. you're right about that. But the other thing is, but then it's funny because you talk about the new guys that come in where it's like you don't really want to take anything from anybody because you don't know yet.
Which I've also seen too.
Yeah,
I've
where
also
it goes
seen
bad.
guys getting, I've also seen guys getting charged. But you know who they are. You know when the guys come in and they're a little soft and, and then you see because we have predators. We have identified predators. They look at that guy and they're like, hey, come here, bro. What do you need? You need some coffee? You need here,
something.
Why don't you move to my cell? I got the bottom bunk open. You get the bottom bunk, don't worry about it. And you're almost telling the guy like, don't.
It's all bad.
Don't take the bottom bunk. He's going to sleep with you on that bottom bunk. That's not good.
Yeah. So, but we're talking about.
But we talk about the jobs.
Jobs.
So the hustles, the different hustles.
You were talking about the guys.
What did you do? Which one? What was your hustle?
so
You said portraits,
first
right?
I drew portraits. Then when I got when I got to the low,
You were the writer guy.
No, I'm sorry. When I got the meter. Well, I'm sorry, meter. What am I saying, bro?
The meteor?
So when I got to the medium, so in the county jail, I drew portraits. In the medium, I started teaching the real estate class, and I taught GED.
Correct.
In the low, I started. I taught the real estate class, and I started writing.
Correct.
But that's the difference between having an education and being sharp. And look, out here, I feel like, I'm a sharp guy. I'm not like super sharp in compared to everybody else. But in prison, I am.
You're a commodity.
I am a rocket scientist. I am a superhero genius in prison.
You add to that being bilingual.
Right.
Dude, and I was like, I told somebody, I was a fucking unicorn.
Yeah.
Because people will come to me and go like, when I went to the pen, the Mexicans come to me and they're like, hey, listen, bro, you speak very good English. The counselor in the unit is an asshole. Can you go talk to him? I said, yeah, dude, what's the problem? He's a white piece of shit.
Right.
I said, I got it. Those are my kind. So I walk in and the guy has a Minnesota Vikings poster in his wall. And big guy, he's chewing tobacco, and I walked in and I go, hey, how are you doing? He goes, you're Sanchez, right? You're the new guy. And I said, yeah, you're a Vikings fan, eh? He goes, what do you know about that? I said, I don't know. You're from Minnesota? He goes, yeah. I said, where from? He goes, what do you know about Minnesota? I said, just tell me where you're from. He goes, I'm from Duluth. I said, bro, I know more about Duluth than you know. He goes, come on, tell me something. I said, yeah, you go to this street, and there is a bar here, and there is a bar there, and I remember I used to go party here, party there. He goes, how do you know that? I said, bro, I went to school in St. Cloud, Minnesota. He goes, you were in St. Cloud? I said, yeah, I was one of the two brown guys in St. Cloud, bro. It was me and another dude. He goes, man, I have to call somebody. So he calls the lieutenant, and he's from St. Cloud. And he's like, you went to St. Cloud? And I'm like, bro, we used to party at the red carpet, and we used to party at this place, and Howie's, and I was a fraternity guy. He's like, man, I used to go to the same places. And I said, and you are about the same age that I am? He goes, yeah. So you and I party probably at the same bars. He's like, yeah, we probably did. Man, from that point on, I was the Mexican hero. Because I could, of course, then, so you all know, then you develop hustles. So I was like, listen, man, there is some people here that want to switch cells.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I tell you? Don't worry about it. You tell me who wants to switch cells. So then I will go back and say, listen, for $100, I can get you whatever bed you want. Oh, I'll just put it on my books. So they will put them on my books, and I will move them to different cells. I will give them fake jobs because on the pen, everybody has to work.
Guys will sell their cells.
Of course.
Like if you have
TV view.
Yeah, if you're in a good cell where maybe you can see the TV, like you said, or maybe it's even an extra foot wider because it just happens because of the architecture. It happens to be in an area where it's an extra foot by 8 or 10 feet, so that's a bigger cell, and it's a corner cell or it's in the back.
It's a 10% increase on size.
Right. So you can then guys would come in and they'd say, look, you and this guy are bunkies. I want to be this guy's bunkie. And then the bunkie's like, yeah. Bro, can he move it? Yeah. Okay. Well, how much to move out?
Yeah.
And it'd be like, $100, $200. I knew a guy that paid like $1,000 because these two brothers wanted to be in the cell together. They were they were brothers. So then when the one brother came in, he'd been there a week or two, moved him right in, put $1,000 on the other guy's book to move out.
By the way, this also happens when they want to move their bitch in.
Oh, well, yeah.
Listen, you need to get out, and I'll pay you to move out because I'm moving Johnny. Because, Johnny does the sucky.
Because I love Johnny.
Because I love Johnny. I decided to leave my wife for Johnny, which happens
Oh.
Remember the two guys that work in education, in vocational? Paul.
Oh yeah, Paul
And,
oh wait, no, and Ron.
Paul and Ron.
Yeah.
Paul was married with kids.
Yeah.
Met Ron in prison. Fell madly in love. Then got caught fucking in the shower.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. And they shipped them.
They ship him.
And you know what happened, by the way?
He went back to his wife, I believe, or something. They broke up.
I know they. Oh, I didn't know you knew they broke up.
Yeah, I was still in Coleman when that happened.
He was so upset.
You know, he had a cup with Paul's picture in it, which I drew, and because that was my hustle, by the way. I used to tattoo the mugs and put like whatever they wanted. So he gave me a picture of his boo, and I tattooed it, and I gave it back to him, and he carried Paul everywhere and put him in his mouth. And
So the point is, Connor.
And then Paul left him.
Don't go to prison.
Yeah. Well, the showers. You were there when the guy with the tits.
Oh, of course. I was there with 3 different guys.
Yeah, there
with
was one that
breasts.
looked like a crackhead, but there was another one that looked like not a crackhead, and that was like a little perturbing. The tall.
Bro, wait.
He had a woman's name, Gina or Angie.
No, they all gave him a woman's name, but
but this one had changed his name legally.
Oh, okay. What did?
That was in the drug program.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one. That's the one that got caught after the drug program got caught. Lost like the year got caught because he was blowing blowing a bunch of guys.
And he had a journal.
Yes.
And he was like, I wrote everybody that I fucked here. I'm gonna post this, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
How
And
much for
Dr.
the book?
Smith called him in, and I think he lost his year.
He lost everything. Yeah.
I could call my old cellie. Remember my old cellie?
Who?
Miss Smith. Miss Smith. Remember the transgender?
Black? The black?
Yes. Look, we're friends on Facebook.
Oh Lord, I don't even want to ask. I think I'm gonna.
Oh, wait. Oh my God.
Well, he should know.
So funny.
He should know the name. I want to say it was like Gina or Angie or it was a name like that. It was a short name.
Yeah. It was like Ariel or whatever. Yeah.
But it was perturbing because he had huge tits.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
There was
huge
one
tits.
that came in had fake tits and the fake ass implants.
And he had changed his face
yes.
and he looked and he had like a little diamond
cheek
here.
implants.
So
the whole
this is
thing.
weird because you're in a men's prison and you're walking into the chow hall, that's where we eat, and all of a sudden you look at a table and you see these huge tits and a tight shirt, and your eyes immediately go to the tits, and then you go, oh my God, that's a dude. And then you feel like the crying game. You want to go to the shower and, I'm so dirty, because you're like checking out the tranny. Yeah, it was just...
I can't find...
But you know what's crazy? That guy will walk around the rec yard.
Yeah.
And you see all these guys taking their shirts
Oh,
off.
of course.
And doing pull. Come on, put some weight. And I'm like, man, you guys are pathetic. You know that guy has a dick probably bigger than yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some of the... Also, going back to the prison hustles, I used to make fun of... by the way, cell phones are a big hustle. And there was an article the other day that I posted on my Facebook page, and how some BOP officers got busted because... Are you calling Miss Smith?
I'm trying.
Oh my God, you're so... That's scary. Gabrielle?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, this is horrendous.
Real name's... Hold on. Real name's Greg.
That's funny. No.
That's too bad.
Listen, he can talk with a mouthful. Mama told him.
Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
You
I had
know.
to say that. So, it's...
Wait, hello?
Please leave your message.
No.
40.
It's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna... Okay, that would have been hilarious.
That would have been very funny. We could have put a picture of
Miss Smith.
Miss
up.
Smith up and
Good time. Because Miss Smith used to date whatever Ariel or whatever the name was of the other one, ex-boyfriend. So there was a whole issue there.
I used to tell them, man, you came to prison for that? because there was like huge drama, and they will slap each other on the regular, and you bitch, and blah blah blah, and I'll be like, man,
Well, there was a gaggle of them. There was like at one point there was 5 or 6 of them. They would walk around.
Oh, yeah.
and they would walk around and they would see some guy would look up and they'd be like, hey.
and then they started selling. By the way, they started selling women's underwear in commissary
absolutely. Yeah.
and makeup in commissary.
Yes.
But prior to that,
for the transgenders.
before transgenders, that we just had the gay guys, they used to take the M&Ms and they will dip them in water, and they will use that as
I will call
we'll
you
call
back
you
in
in
a
a
few
few.
minutes.
Oh my god. And they will like use it to put makeup on. So they will put like M&M color
yeah.
on their cheeks. And I used to tell them, dude, if you fall asleep on the regular, ants are gonna fucking eat your face up. That's all sugar.
So
But
go ahead.
what I was telling you, the BOP, the guards used to bring cell phones in. And that's not the issue, because it's not the cell phone, it's where you keep it.
Oh yeah. I know.
So there is always one guy of
I mean, you're not. It's not an iPhone. You're not carrying an iPhone.
yeah, but they're not that small, bro. I don't give a fuck what phone you have. I'm not putting it up my ass. It could be, I don't care how you want to sell it. I'm not buying it. But you have somebody that was your cell phone holder. Usually, most of the times, this guy was from a specific island and listen, they charge big bucks. They will charge like $100 a day or $50 a day to carry the phone up their ass all day. And they will take it out when the guy will say like, listen, can I have the phone? I need to make some phone calls. He will be usually on lockdown. So the guy will go to his cell, take the phone out of his ass, and literally like clean it up a little bit because it was wrapped, and then hand it to the owner of the phone. So that was a hustle.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that was listen,
Washing shoes, washing tennis shoes is a hustle.
but I used to tell these guys that walked in, they will say like, hey man, how do you make money here? All these young kids. And I will say, listen, there's many ways. You can wash shoes. You
Yeah.
can get a job. Okay.
But of course, if you get a job, you're making, $18 or $13 a month.
a month. Yeah, unless you're like super educated and you work for a great boss, and then you'll make like 60, maybe
Yeah.
80.
Yeah. Maybe $80. Like
Yeah.
a GED paid like $80.
That's what I used
a
to
month.
make, and
Nice.
I hated the job. And then
A month.
you will say,
A month. By
Yeah.
the way, that's $80 a month, and that's a great job at typically $12 to $16.
and make these numbers. Out of those $80, 95, not 95%, $95 went to calling my kids, because every call was $3.50.
Yeah.
So
Or if you have restitution.
I know if you have restitution, so you're always short. So that's why you have to hustle. So I would tell them, listen, you can either clean shoes, or you can clean cells, or you can do laundry, or you can cook for somebody, or listen, you can suck dick. And all these guys will always say, hey, and how much does sucking dick pay?
They did that.
And I'll be like, dude, are you
Come
fucking
on.
kidding me?
Stop.
And it was all these young kids from this specific place. And I will say,
Puerto
like, dude,
Rico?
yeah. And I'll be like, dude, why don't you guys want the other hustle? They go, no. I'm just, listen, it's a prison hustle, bro.
Oh my God.
How about this? I'm just gay for the stay.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one.
I'm just gay for the stay.
That's
I'm
funny.
like, I don't know if you're just gay for the stay.
What?
You know?
So the other prison hustle is cleaning people's rooms. But we were talking about earlier, talking about how they would talk to these guys like they were dogs. Like, so you're some big time drug dealer. Let's say you're you're a
The guy
cartel-
that kidnapped me.
Yeah, for instance, yeah,
For example.
he works for the state, right? He's got a ton of money. He's in there for 3 or 4 years, and he's got people cooking for him, doing his laundry, folding his clothes, organizing or keeping all of his stuff in their locker, somebody
Yeah.
else's locker, because you don't have enough.
His
lockers
phone
for-
up their ass.
his phone up their ass, making his bed, and then when they see the guy, they're walking down the hallway and they see the guy and go, hey. I fucking pay you to sweep my room twice a fucking day. Go fucking sweep my goddamn room. You ain't swept that room
I
today.
know, bro.
And they're like, oh, sorry, sir. Sorry. And they would run, scatter down the thing and go and sweep the guy's room.
Crazy.
Right.
They were treated like slaves.
Right. But if you're educated.
And you have a phone up your ass. You
Yeah.
don't treat people that put your phone up their ass like that. I mean, you have to have some consideration. That's a big effort, bro. I mean,
Can you imagine that guy all of a sudden, oh,
That's
what's wrong?
what-
You're getting a call.
bro.
Someone's calling.
One day, And I always tell this story in class. One day,
Who is it? It's your wife. It's
her ringer.
It's a different ring.
Yeah. One day we're all in a
Different
stand-up
vibrate
count.
setting.
I was on Alpha 3. It's a stand-up count. And the prison that we were at was cubicles. So it was cubicles on this side, and a hall in between. It's 4 o'clock count, bro. It's quiet as fuck. And I hear, and I go, oh my God. Somebody has a fucking phone with a ringer on. So the guards go, and they're calling the cameras.
Right.
So the cameras can tell them where the phone is at. And all I'm seeing is, we hear all the keys coming, and these guys, I see the phone going down the floor, and they're sliding the phone from cubicle to cubicle.
Right.
So
yeah.
So the camera is going, cubicle 13, cubicle 18, cubicle 24, and these guys are going on zigzag, and all of a sudden they go, cubicle 48, and you see the guys coming in, walking out, cell phone's gone. There's no cell phone on cubicle 48. And you
Where
see
was
guys
the cell phone?
And all of a sudden we see the guy from cubicle 48, and he's like, I'm like, all right, this guy is, dude, but that's raw. I mean, this guy's like, no Vaseline. This is like an emergency. This is like, in case of emergency, break the glass. This guy got the cell phone and went, woo! No lube, no nothing, bro. That man earned his money that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's worth at least a honey bun. At least an extra honey bun.
That's what they used to call him. I think that's what they used to call him, honey buns.
bun.
By the way, they charge a reward. That's an extra. That has a premium, because you have to charge. Like, listen, I saved your phone.
And the
Yeah, I saved your phone. It's different than keeping your phone.
Yeah. It's not just the phone they're keeping up there.
Oh no, and the
It's-
charger.
And the charger.
Yeah. And drugs. Like, people will be like, like when I was in Miami, hey, the Puerto Ricans are coming, and they're loaded. And I'll be like, loaded with what? Oh, they bring cigarettes, and they bring drugs, and they bring phones. I'm like, where? Dude, up their ass. I'm like, bro, I don't know if I want to smoke a cigarette that was on somebody's ass. Period. I don't know if I want to make a call on a cell phone that is on somebody's ass. But, $4,500, one cell phone.
Right. But so the other hustle is, if you're educated, you can. The other hustle would be to do legal work.
Legal work. I did a lot of power of attorneys.
Yeah.
People left their kids out. Kids got sick. Family couldn't take them to the doctor, get them treated because they didn't have a power of attorney. So, note to yourself, have a power of attorney for somebody. So we used to have them, and we used to have a notary in prison.
Right.
One of the counselors, and they charge you, believe it or not, they charge you like, what was it, like $8 to notarize a piece of paper or some shit like that?
Oh, well, actually, in the low, they actually
ridiculous.
had somebody who came, and it was like $45 because somebody would come from out of...
It was somebody's wife.
From, at Coleman?
Yeah, it was a staff member's wife.
They started a service to where the inmates have to pay $45 to get something. And they wouldn't come out for one person. There had to be 4 or 5 people. So you've got 5 people at $45 a piece.
And then I will walk around the compound, and there will be Matt sitting in his little concrete table outside.
Writing?
With Frank. This is when he wasn't in the library. With no other than Frank Amadeus. Mm-hmm. And then I think we're going to talk about...
Amadeo, not Amadeus.
Listen, I call him all
he's
kinds
going
of
to be...
stuff.
That's the emperor you're talking about.
I know. He's sooner or later, wait until he gets out again. Again. This time he's got a plan. And that guy that spoke with the aliens, he had a Hispanic last name. He heard voices. He was homeless, and then he got stuck into the... Come on, bro. You and I used to hang out with him, and he talked to people from other planets, and the aliens are coming. I told you the other day, you have him as a friend on Facebook, and you say, yeah, Martinez, Hernandez. He's a white dude, but he has a Hispanic last name.
I'm not sure. There were so many crazy people.
He was a sovereign citizen.
Oh, no. I know you're talking. He didn't talk to aliens. You're talking about Chris Marrero.
Chris Marrero. He spoke with people from other planets.
He believes in the aliens, and he believes in that the Anunnaki are actually, which is an alien race, is actually running the entire planet. He believes in...
This was Matt's friend.
He's a sovereign citizen. I would love to get him on the podcast.
He was homeless.
I know. He would go forever. He would be able to talk about this stuff in a very detailed, precise way for hours and hours, and it would make sense. He's fascinating. He's fascinating.
He is a fascinating character.
Insane.
In a crazy, yeah.
Yes, totally insane. You've never met anybody like this. Connor, you would love this guy.
This guy should have he shouldn't be a guest here. He should have his own channel.
No, he should. He should.
Yeah.
Listen, he sends me stuff every single day. Everything that he sends me, by the way, is insane. Every day he sends me stuff.
Just give me his contact info. You know, I did time with all his co-defendants.
Here he is right here, Chris Marrero.
Marrero.
Oh, wait, that's, you know what? It's hold on, it's Messenger is what yeah, here, look, one of the first people to come up right here. Look at this. Obviously, he's a huge Trump supporter. But this is all, everything look, you see how this is all stuff he sent me. It's all straight.
I guarantee you he's on this whole, the earth is flat thing that is going on. Come on, bro.
He's not on the earth. Listen, I mean, he's crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's crazy. But look, Afterlife. This one's on Afterlife. This is
Matt's friend. So Matt is sitting on this table with Frank, with Chris.
Look, this one is about the camps that they're building camps for us.
For who? Oh, in another planet?
No.
Or here?
The other planet's just, he doesn't think we're going to another planet. This is here. He believes that COVID is here so they control us, and they're going to put us all in these FEMA camps.
Oh, really?
He's got a whole FEMA camp thing going on. It's.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to.
So you have to understand this. Here's Matt with Frank Amadeo, who's fucking insane.
Yeah, he thinks he's going to be emperor of the world.
With Chris Marrero.
He hears voices.
Who is fucking insane. Both of these guys hear voices, by the way.
Super entertaining. Chris Marrero does not hear voices.
And
he's just crazy.
Occasionally, it will be your sidekick on legal paperwork.
Oh wait, Pete. Pete. Pete.
Occasionally, it will be Pete, which was brought a little normality.
Yes, Pete was
to the group because he was super smart.
Super smart, but Pete has a touch of Asperger's, so he's a little quirky, but super smart. I mean, we're talking about amazingly intelligent, and he's got a photographic memory.
But then
what about Caroni?
Oh my
Dennis
God.
Caroni.
Dennis Caroni.
Then there's Dennis Caroni. What a fucking nut job Caroni
Yeah.
is, right? I wrote a story about Caroni. About Caroni called Indefensible. You want to talk about someone who got screwed over? Caroni lent a friend of his dead brother's, his brother who died, who had a friend. He said, so he's my friend by proxy. I lent him $50,000 to open up a pain clinic. Well, guess what? Before, it was for FinFin. Before he could open up the FinFin diet clinic in New Orleans, FinFin became illegal, so they opened up a pain management clinic. Caroni, who lived in LA, who had nothing to do with it, they open it up, it starts running. Caroni calls every couple of days to say, hey, how much money did you make today? Hey, what's going on with this? Hey, what's going on with that? Send me some money. So Caroni is a part of the business, but only so much as he's send me some money, because he's a greedy fucker.
But they're saying that he's getting paid.
It is, but he doesn't realize that it's a pain. It wasn't a pain. It wasn't a pill mill. It was just a pain clinic.
Yeah.
Listen, if I told you the whole story on how so the guy who lends $50,000 and has nothing to do with the operation of the place ends up getting indicted. He feels like he didn't do anything wrong, so he goes to trial. Man, what a mistake that was. 19 and a half years from.
Listen, that's enough to make anybody crazy.
Yeah.
But this is the funny part. You walk Monday by that table where Matt's sitting with all these white crazy men. On Tuesday, you walk...
Caroni's Jewish.
But that makes him not white?
Oh, no, I guess
he's white.
He's still white?
But on Tuesday, you
Somebody
walk by
clarify that
Matt's table, same table. Now he's surrounded by Snoop. And all the other...
Snoop, DV...
Correct. So now it's Matt with like 6 black guys, all writing either urban novels or true crime stories, and here in the middle is of course Matt doing his thing, coaching on the writing and proofreading and all this stuff. And occasionally I will be lucky enough to walk by, and they'll be like, "Hey, Venezuela, come here. Check this out," and they will give me like a manuscript to read, and I'll give them some feedback, and I'll be like, I think you used the word "fuck that hoe" a little too much on that chapter,
I gave that bitch the
I
pipe.
got that bitch, fuck. And she said, "Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me."
I gave her that
I'm like,
black python.
Why didn't this guy give it to her?
I knocked the wig off that shit. You know what I'm saying?
So that I got my exposure to that. So there was a little there was a very diverse group you hung out.
Yeah,
with.
I can hang with the I can hang
Absolutely.
with the urban homeboys, or I can hang with the guy who owned the power plant. Remember? Did you ever meet the guy who owned the power plant?
Who was that?
What was his name? Oh, hey, what happened to Lance? Lance?
I've been trying to get a hold of Lance. Lance was my boy. I'll tell you what. Well, because he takes one to know one. So
I know, but Lance, everybody I know as far as Lance went to prison. Lance was going to help everybody and look after everybody, and care about everybody.
Come on,
and now everybody I know, he doesn't respond.
Listen, we're
doesn't
talking
talk
about
to.
prison. This guy, and I was thinking about that on the way here, because you come across as a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
It hurts
he
my
is.
feelings a little bit.
But
if I had feelings.
But if you see the other, because somebody the other day told me the same thing about me. It's like, man, you're such an asshole, but then you do all these things and people just don't know what you do, and you just love that whole asshole image. And I'm like, no, it's just people don't dig deep enough, nor do I give a fuck about what people think. But this is one of the guys that when he got out, you send money to people.
Me? Oh, I sent money to people.
Yeah, and when people
Absolutely.
got out, they reached out to you.
Yes.
And you gave money to people
Absolutely.
that were out.
Absolutely. I gave money to, I don't want to say any
We're
names.
not going to say any names,
No,
but I know.
I got out. A guy got out 2 years before me. He was living in his car.
I know.
And I was in the halfway house, and I sent him money.
And listen, bro, I got out, and when I got out, I reached out to you.
Right.
And you were like, man, you have
Yeah,
to
you
come
were
over.
one of the first. I was one of the first people that you reached out to.
And he's like, you got to come over, you got to see what I'm doing, and I'm going to get you started, and blah, 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 blah. So like I said, that is a code. That is a prison code. The issue with Lance is you already knew from the get-go. And by the way, he embezzled $3 billion with a B dollars.
Yeah.
Not 3 million. I remember when I met him, I said, hey, Lance, listen, he's like, oh, so how much was your crime? I said, man, 39 million, big case. He's like, yeah, that's a big case. I said, and here I'm like,
That's the
big guy.
interest
and I'm
on
like
what he
big
owes.
guy, and so I'm telling him one day, and like, man, I remember, we had the company had like this little helicopter that we will fly back and forth, a Robinson 44, because it was super cheap. And you could fly to like Miami, and it wasn't mine, it was my partner's, but it was super cool because I will say like, I'm going to Miami and I'll jump on the helicopter and just be in Miami like 45 minutes. And he was like, yeah, man, yeah, I did the same thing with my jets. And I'm like,
Jets.
I said,
Plural?
yeah. And I'm like,
Plural?
okay, so your case is so I said, listen, how much is your case? He goes, just a couple zeros more than yours. And I said, like 300 million? He goes, no, there is you gotta add another zero. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like 3 billion? He's like, yeah. But I gave back 2. By the way, this motherfucker gave back 2 billion. And so he kept 1, obviously. Or not, because they think we kept some money. And he's out.
Unbelievable.
But that guy had some knowledge.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
he's a sharp guy.
He's a
without
sharp
doubt.
guy, but he's old. He did like 20 years, bro. Yeah, he did some hard time. He's now 78.
And he went to trial, and he went to trial, and they sent him to the pen.
Yeah.
This is like a non-violent crime. You sent him to the
Old
pen.
man, 58 years old, goes to the pen, gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, because guys were trying to shake him down. He said, I'm not going to pay anybody. Boom, they beat the fucking piss out of him.
Beat the fuck out of him. Taught GED at the pen, had to ask for permission from the gangs to be able to teach GED. I mean, he has a great story. I'm trying to get him to come to. We're gonna have to go to him probably, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind
I'm
going to his
irritated
house.
that he's not returning phone calls to anybody. Not that I've ever reached out to him, but
Yeah,
I ate breakfast with him every morning for a year, by the way. Well, not every morning, but probably 5 days a week, 5 or 6 days a week for a year.
When he first got to the law?
No. Just before I left.
So
Right.
yeah,
Because I
was
got
gone.
moved into the same unit as him, and there were a couple other guys I hung out with that also ate with him. So we all ended up eating at the same time.
Yeah, you have those guys, but you also have, man. You look at that. You even have the tranny on your phone. So you have. Listen, you got.
I love Miss Smith. Not in that way.
Well, I don't know.
You know. And by the way, I could, because you ever heard of the 10-year card?
That once you do more than 10 years, you get a free pass.
When they say, well, I got my 10-year card. So if you've done more than 10 years, you get a free pass.
It's okay. Well,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
do under 10 at the pen, they'll tell you like it's not until you fuck the 5th guy. Oh my god. I'm like, dude, I think after you fuck the first one, you kind of know if you like it or not.
Yeah, you're
They're
gay.
like, no. You fuck 5, you're gay, bro. So what if I fuck 4? You were just trying.
Listen, I glanced too long at another guy.
You were taking it out for a spin.
Yeah,
You were
no.
kicking out the tires or whatever. I'm like, I don't know.
Listen, Miss Smith was hilarious. Hilarious.
I want to say, is that the one that looked like I don't want to be offensive. That like a little bit like a crackhead.
No.
Okay,
no.
no.
Look, you know, looked like Serena Williams.
That is like the most offensive comment for Serena Williams that you can make, probably. We should put hashtag Serena Williams on this video. I'm sure she'll love it.
I'm trying to. I can't. Why can I not?
See her pictures? Just send me the ones that she sent you.
Gregory Smith.
No, it's Gabrielle, bro.
Oh, is it Gabrielle? Is that what it was?
Of course, man.
Sorry. Gabrielle Smith.
You don't wanna.
But I don't know what I have.
Well, just show me the ones that don't show.
No, you
The engine.
I know what it is. I gotta go.
I don't need to see what's under the hood. I already know.
It's just wrong. So many ways.
So I have a friend of mine who used to take a shower. He was taking a shower in front of the one that we were talking about, the tall black dude with the tits.
Right.
And by the way, they charge to show you their tits.
Of course.
Like $5 just to show them to you. So the guy's taking a shower and he's like, man, I'm gonna get a free peek at the tits, whatever. So he's like,
a free
peek
at the tits.
So he's like trying to get a peek of the tits, and he's telling me the story, and he's like, man, I'm trying to see, and this dude is like facing the wall so nobody sees his tits, whatever. And out of a sudden, I guess the black dude, the tranny, goes like this to wash his feet or whatever, and he goes, I could see like his dick swinging under the shower, and I'm like, I'm done. Oh my God.
So
that was after my
changed the name.
That was after my time.
Wait a second, bro.
No, that was after my time.
Look.
Wow, yikes.
Serena Williams.
No,
right?
No, well, you know.
What's going on? What is? Wait.
That's confusing. That's both arousing and perturbing. Is this the other? Is that the one that I'm talking about?
No. Here's what's funny.
Why? By the way, most of them are in prison for fraud.
Oh yeah.
Credit card fraud.
No, this was tax fraud.
And they get fraud to get money to get operated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember talking to them and they were like, it was well worth it. I'll do 4 years. But look at this. Look at what I got.
I remember Miss Smith when I said, so you're going to go through the whole thing. Are you going to get, I said, you're getting the surgery? And she's like, absolutely, I'm getting the surgery. I go, well, what are you going to do when they snip it? What are you going to do with it? And he goes, I go, what do you mean? I said, are you going to keep it? Like keep it in a jar? Like
your tonsils, like when they take the tonsils
you're
out.
going to keep it? And he goes, I don't want anything to do with this thing. This thing's been nothing but problems for me. We were laughing so hard.
Listen, you gotta bring him here, bro.
Hilarious,
because the stories they
right?
tell, they used to tell me, who were the guys that used to get with me? All married guys, and not to fuck me. I was like, wait a second, whoa. They're like, yeah. And in prison, a lot of these guys, they don't want to fuck me. They want me to fuck them. I'm like, dude.
And I used to, guys, you would walk by and throw notes in the cell.
How about commissary?
Oh yeah, tons of commissary, tons. You saw, big one.
So that's those are some of the hustles. So if you're watching this and you're a tranny,
listen, you
are not gonna do hard.
This is what I was gonna say. That honestly, you know what? One of the enhancements needs to be in when they revise the federal sentencing guidelines, they need to do an enhancement for homosexuals. Homosexuals do not have it nearly as hard as straight guys. If you're a homosexual and you go to prison, there should be an enhancement because they should have to do more time. Because the truth is, they're doing way softer time. I'm doing way harder time than a homosexual.
And listen, I'm all about the LGBTQ. I support it. You'll see if I ever do podcasts, I wear my shirts that says, dude, I have pictures. It says, I'm straight, but I don't hate. I mean, I'm all about it. I support the community. I have no issues with that. My sis is gay. I love her to pieces. I'm comfortable enough with my sexuality where I don't have to deal with that.
Can you imagine that this comments I'm going to get because I'm saying she?
But they like to refer as she's. As a matter of fact, there was a memo that was passed on the DOP that said you refer to that inmate as either she or inmate.
Yes, I was in the drug program and I had no choice.
Yeah, but you remember when they had Gay Day?
Oh yeah, of course.
They had
Of course.
A gay day
Yeah,
in
they had a
prison.
party. They had a
and
party,
They had
they had
a
special
party,
meals.
and they
Yeah.
had a special meal. And of
course.
I don't know if I ever told you the story, but I was working on education. So the education department is right here, and vocational is right here. So all I had to walk was like literally maybe 20 feet. And that's where they had the party. And they had like amazing food. So I'm working and I tell my coworker, bro, I'm gonna go to the gay day stuff on the next move. We have a 5-minute move where we can go to where we're going and we can come back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, because then they close the compound, and if you're
And then
caught on
you're
the
stuck in
compound,
there.
if you're caught on the compound, once they lock all the doors, if you're caught outside of a building, then you can get a
You
shot.
get in trouble.
Right.
So I tell this guy, listen, I'm gonna take the 5-minute move. I'm gonna go there, get some food, and come back.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, bro, hook me up. I'm like, don't worry, I got you. So I run to vocational. I open the door. Dude, I come back to my job with nothing. And the guy goes, what the fuck, bro? Where's the food? I said, bro, I couldn't do it. He goes, what happened? He said, I walk in, lights are off, they have a disco ball on, they have music playing, and there's inmates dancing with inmates. And he goes, are you fucking kidding me? And I said, no, bro. And he goes, so why didn't you get the food? I said, bro, what if I got stuck in there? I have to be there for an hour. And he goes, dude, what's the problem? I said, bro, I would have had to dance with one of those guys. You know, I mean,
Jeez.
so I just don't want to dance with any of those guys. So I came back. So we had gay day, and I had a visit during that week, and my kids told me the whole prison was decorated with like rainbows and gay pride and the whole thing.
What's going on?
And my daughters were like, Dad, is this like turning into a gay prison? I'm like, I don't know, but it could very well be, since I learned to crochet while I was here and I learned to paint. So yeah, it's you know, we have stories.
Okay.
We have stories.
You want to wrap this up?
Let's wrap this up. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have.
I'm
some more stories
starting to
later.
feel uncomfortable. So I'm feeling uncomfortable with the
You see,
situation.
for my next podcast, I'm gonna bring with Matt. I'm gonna bring my "I'm straight but I don't hate" shirt to see what he's gonna say, and then you guys can comment and say, "Hey, dude,
We need to get Miss Smith on here. We definitely need to get Miss Smith.
I'll pitch in for that trip."
Yeah.
And he can stay here. No, he can't stay. I'm just kidding.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so
Colby's house.
Colby will put up
We'll
Miss
host.
Smith.
We'll host Miss
Miss
Smith.
Smith.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
If you like the podcast, do me a favor and subscribe. Hit the like button. Hit the bell so you get notified. Leave a comment in the description for the algorithm, and share the video to all of your friends and family. I appreciate you watching, and this was Matt Cox and Juan Sanchez.
Hasta luego.
See ya.
Hasta luego. Nos vemos.
Whatever that meant.